After my twin sister and I had our college entrance exam scores hidden, she immediately went around boasting that she was the top scorer in the entire state, mocking me by saying my scores were so bad they had to be concealed. Our professor parents were overjoyed and threw a lavish celebration that lasted 3 full days and nights in her honor. As for me, they said I had brought shame to the family and, right in the middle of the party, publicly disowned me. I didn't even care. Because in my previous life, my sister had access to a system that let her swap our scores without anyone noticing. She secretly exchanged my results with hers. I should have been accepted into Stanford or MIT, but instead, I didn't even qualify for community college. Over time, my parents grew more and more disgusted with me, treating me as the disgrace of the family and eventually kicking me out of the house. I lived a life filled with humiliation and contempt, surviving by picking up trash to make ends meet. Just before I died, my sister finally confessed the truth with a calm, smug look. Now, reborn with only a month left until the college entrance exams, I didn't hesitate to accept a direct admission offer. I had no interest in taking the exam again. Hearing a crackling noise outside, I put on my headphones and continued reading my book. My sister walked in, her face full of smugness. "Seriously, Emma," she sneered. "The college exams are over, and you're still reading? What, planning to take them again? Like that's going to change anything. Someone useless like you will always be useless. You'd be better off finding some guy to marry and leech off." I ignored her and kept my head down. Frustrated by my silence, she kicked my chair hard and snatched the book from my hands, throwing it aside. "I overheard Mom and Dad talking," she said with a cruel smile. "They're university professors, and having a daughter like you is an embarrassment. So during the party they're throwing for me the day after tomorrow, they're officially cutting ties with you. But if you beg me now, maybe I'll be generous and convince them not to be so harsh. After all, I am the state's top scorer. They'll listen to anything I say now." I glanced at her with indifference and let out a soft "hmm." Her face turned red with anger, and just as she was about to yell at me, we heard a noise outside the door. Her expression instantly changed. She grabbed my hand, slapped herself hard across the face, and tears immediately streamed down her cheeks. Sob. "Emma, I was just trying to comfort you after the bad test results. I didn't mean to make you upset. It's all my fault, please don't be mad at me." Right at that moment, Mom and Dad were standing outside the door and saw everything. "Emma! What the hell do you think you're doing?" Dad stormed in without asking a single question and slapped me across the face so hard my cheek went numb. I looked coldly at the 3 people in front of me. My sister clung to Dad's arm, still sobbing. "Don't blame her, Dad. It's my fault, I shouldn't have bothered her while she was reading. She should have just kept her mouth shut." Her words only enraged him more. He grabbed the book on the desk and slammed it onto the floor, pointing at me and yelling like I had broken his heart. "Someone like you still dares to read books? What a joke. Raising you has been the greatest shame of your mother's and my life. Born to the same parents, how did someone like you turn out this way? Your mother and I are both professors at a prestigious university, your sister's the top scorer in the state, and you? You're so dumb you couldn't even get a passing college score. Emma, you're destined to live your life begging on the streets." After saying that, he wrapped his arm around Lily, gently patting her on the back to comfort her. Mrs. Miller looked at me and shook her head in disappointment. "Emma, you're the worst student I've ever seen. No amount of jealousy or resentment can fix the trash in your bones. Raising you was the biggest failure of my life. Just thinking about you brings me shame." Lily snuggled into Dad's arms, then smirked triumphantly at me. As I watched the 3 of them walk away, I glanced at the book scattered on the floor and let out a small laugh. In my previous life, I had truly loved Lily as my little sister. Every time she did poorly on an exam and feared getting scolded by our professor parents, I pitied her and swapped our test papers. I even stayed up late teaching her, preparing notes, trying so hard to help her understand the lessons. But she always acted like she didn't care, telling me to stop being nosy. Later, I earned a direct admission offer from Stanford because of my performance in the physics Olympiad. But Lily said she wanted to take the college entrance exam alone, and begged me to join her. Out of love, I gave up my offer. Yet when the results came out, I couldn't believe my score, just a few miserable points. Meanwhile, Lily was named the top scorer in the entire state. From that day on, my parents abandoned me, rejected me, and threw me out of the house. The world treated me like garbage, and I spent the rest of my life picking through trash to survive. It wasn't until I died that I discovered everything had been part of Lily's carefully crafted scheme. If sincerity can't be exchanged for sincerity, then I no longer want it. Lily, in this life, enjoy your so-called perfect little world while it lasts. The next morning, when I came downstairs, the three of them were already at the breakfast table, chatting and laughing like one big happy family. The moment I appeared, my parents' smiles disappeared. Their expressions turned cold and distant. Lily beamed brightly and waved at me as if she were the sweetest girl on earth. "Emma, you're finally up. Come have breakfast with us." I didn't respond. I just sat down quietly. Mr. Miller instantly slammed his chopsticks down on the table with a loud crack, his face turning red with anger. "Your sister is talking to you. Are you mute or something? Can't even say a word back?" I acted like I didn't hear him, picked up my chopsticks, and started eating. His face turned redder with rage. Lily quickly stood up and gently placed a hand on his arm. "Don't be mad, Dad. She's probably still upset with me, that's why she won't talk." "It's all my fault, Dad." "Please don't blame Emma," Lily said, her eyes turning red, trying to look pitiful. Mrs. Miller sighed and cast a disapproving glance at me. "Emma, not only are you failing academically, but you clearly lack even the most basic morals." "Morals?" They had the nerve to talk about morals? I curled my lips slightly and stared straight at Lily. "Stop faking it, Lily. Drop the act already." Her eyes widened in disbelief as if she couldn't believe I just said that. I let out a cold laugh and continued. "Lily's been lying to everyone. She's not some state valedictorian. Her actual test score was 0. The room fell into an eerie silence. My parents stared at me with shock in their eyes. Seeing that neither of them responded, Lily immediately put on a hurt expression. "Emma, I know you're jealous of me, but how could you say something like that?" Mr. Miller finally snapped out of it and said, "Emma, if you're jealous, just say so. Don't drag your sister through the mud with this nonsense." Mrs. Miller snatched the plate and utensils in front of me and called the maid over. "She doesn't need to eat. Trash like her isn't worthy of this table." As I watched my breakfast being taken away, I pressed my lips together and stayed silent. Lily kept up the tears, still pretending to be the good sister. "Emma, if you want to take the college exam again next year, I can help you study. Don't be mad at me anymore, okay? And please, stop accusing me of things I didn't do." She had always acted like this ever since we were kids, so fake and insincere it made me sick. I got up to head upstairs, but someone suddenly grabbed my wrist. "Emma, let's go to the amusement park together. Consider it my way of apologizing to you." Mr. Miller frowned. "Lily, she's clearly unstable. We don't feel safe letting you go alone with her." Lily immediately responded. "Don't worry, Mom, Dad. Emma won't hurt me. She loves me more than anyone." Then she dragged me toward the car. Once inside, the three of them sat together in the back seat, Lily right in the middle, nestled between Mom and Dad, looking like one big happy family. She let out a playful sigh. "Oops, looks like there's no more room back here. Sorry, Emma, would you mind sitting up front with the driver?" I opened the front passenger door and got in without a word. The whole drive, the back seat was full of laughter. Lily's cheerful voice echoed throughout the car like music from a perfect family. Meanwhile, I sat alone up front. Just a guest. An outsider. I clenched my fists. I thought I'd grown numb to the pain. But clearly, I had underestimated my own heart. "Emma, why aren't you talking to us?" Lily leaned forward, her voice sweet but her eyes glittering with smug satisfaction. I stared straight ahead, ignoring her. Mrs. Miller pulled her back gently. "Don't waste your breath, Lily. She doesn't care about you. Don't talk to trash like that." We arrived at the amusement park, and I still hadn't spoken a single word. The moment we got out of the car, Lily clung to my arm, insisting we try all the thrill rides. I refused, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. Eventually, she forced me into the seat of the drop tower ride and strapped me in tightly. A sense of dread welled up in my chest. I wanted to get off, but it was already too late. The tower slowly rose into the sky. My heart pounded violently, and my breathing grew more and more difficult. Suddenly, my body dropped straight down. The sensation of total weightlessness hit me like a punch, tightening my chest so painfully I could barely breathe. "Mom! Dad!" Next to me, Lily screamed in terror. Mr. and Mrs. Miller, who had just returned from buying snacks, heard the scream and rushed in to cradle their daughter. I opened my mouth to call out to them, but before I could say a word, a slap landed hard across my face. "You monster!" Mr. Miller shouted. "You knew your sister has a heart condition and still dragged her onto the drop tower?" I was already in too much pain to get up, and that blow sent me collapsing to the ground. My vision went black. But Mr. Miller didn't stop. "You don't deserve to be my daughter. If anything happens to Lily, you can just die and bury yourself with her. You're trash. A heartless beast. Tomorrow, your mother and I are officially cutting all ties with you." Tears slipped from the corners of my eyes. My vision blurred as I watched them panic and carry Lily, now unconscious, away from me. Yes, they knew Lily had a heart condition. But Mom, Dad, I have it too. We're twins. I have the same condition she does. When I came to, I heard Lily's voice at my bedside. "Emma, I really thought you were dead this time." She had recovered completely, now wearing a beautiful dress fit for a celebration. She stood beside the hospital bed, looking down at me. I propped myself up on the mattress, glaring at her. Lily smiled smugly. "Tonight's my celebration party, Emma. You have to come, okay? It'll last 3 days and 3 nights. Surely you can show up for at least one day?" After all, she added sweetly, Mom and Dad are going to announce the official dénouement in front of everyone. I smirked. "Don't worry. I'll be there. I wouldn't miss it, for the end of anything." Lily winked proudly. "Great. I'm looking forward to your appearance." That evening, I arrived at the hotel. Mr. and Mrs. Miller were already at the entrance, happily greeting the guests. Once everyone had arrived, they held Lily's hands and led her onto the stage, faces glowing with pride. "Thank you all for coming to celebrate our daughter's success," Mr. Miller said. "We hope everyone enjoys themselves tonight." Applause thundered from the crowd below. Professor Miller truly raised his daughter well. She's the top scorer in the state. That's right, she's the pride of our entire community. The family on stage basked in the admiration. Mrs. Miller's face lit up like a blooming flower as the praise poured in. All of her achievements came from her own hard work, she declared proudly. Lily took the microphone, smiling radiantly. "Thank you, everyone," she said, her voice trembling with emotion, eyes reddening as if she were about to cry. She bowed slightly and glanced toward her teachers and classmates in the crowd. "Thank you again. I wouldn't be here without you." In the past, she was always dead last in class. This time, inviting all the teachers and classmates was clearly a show, to deliver a hard slap in their faces. Who told them to look down on her all those years? The homeroom teacher stood awkwardly. Her classmates were visibly uncomfortable. No one could understand how someone who was always at the bottom during practice exams could suddenly skyrocket in scores. Her actual college entrance exam results were hidden, and yet she somehow became the state valedictorian. Rumors said that Professor Miller had twin daughters. So what about the other one? What were her scores like? Did she also get into an Ivy League or maybe UC Berkeley? Suddenly, someone in the crowd spoke up. Mrs. Miller's face immediately changed, and just as she was about to reply, Lily chimed in first. My sister's scores were hidden too, she said, pausing briefly before casting a glance in my direction. A collective gasp swept through the audience. Oh wow! Professor Miller really knows how to raise her children. Both daughters had their scores sealed. Amazing! Mr. Miller flushed red in embarrassment. Lily smiled sweetly. But my sister's score was 0. The crowd erupted in disbelief. One's the top scorer in the entire state, and the other got a 0? No way. One classmate frowned. I could have sworn Emma was directly admitted to Stanford. She wasn't even supposed to take the college entrance exam. At that, Lily laughed lightly. Oh, Grace. I know you like my sister, which is why you're always so interested in her business. But I'm the one who lives with her, not you. If she really got admitted to Stanford, wouldn't I know about it? Besides, she did take the entrance exam. I sat in the same room as her, how could I not know? Don't get carried away defending her. Grace turned red, clearly uncomfortable. I'm just saying what I know. She sat in the same exam room as me, but on the actual test day, she never showed up. The last part came out in a whisper, barely audible. Mr. Miller, hearing the murmurs building in the crowd, grabbed the mic in a panic. Today, in front of everyone here, I have an announcement to make. Starting today, Emma Miller is no longer a part of the Miller family. A disgraceful daughter like her, I disown her. He pulled out a folder and shoved the documents at me. Sign it. Thumbprint it. Having you as my child has been the greatest shame of my life. I didn't hesitate. I took the papers, signed my name, and pressed my thumb. Then I handed them back to him and gave a faint smile. Honestly, Mr. Miller, I never wanted to be your daughter. Because I don't think any of you deserve to be my parents. Just as the words left my mouth, a voice rang out from the entrance. Excuse us, sorry to interrupt. Everyone turned around. We're with the Stanford admissions office, here to deliver the official acceptance letter for Emma Miller. The entire hall fell silent. 2 sharply dressed men in suits stepped in, carrying leather briefcases, their demeanor calm and professional. Oh my God. They're really from Stanford. Oh my God, Professor Miller's daughter is truly amazing, someone in the crowd exclaimed. Mrs. Miller snapped out of her daze. She quickly straightened her blazer, stepped forward, and extended her hand. Hello, gentlemen. I'm the mother of the student. It's an honor to meet you. The 2 admissions officers shook hands with her politely. Your daughter is outstanding. Raising such a talented student is a great contribution to our nation's future. May we ask where she is? We'd like to personally deliver her official admission letter. Mrs. Miller immediately turned and called for Lily, gently patting her on the shoulder with a loving smile. Lily looked slightly confused. In my previous life, I remember choosing Stanford too, she thought, but they called me first to confirm. This time, I didn't get any call. Why are they suddenly here in person? Mrs. Miller urged her. Lily, why are you standing there? Hurry and thank the professors and receive your admission letter. Snapping out of her daze, Lily smiled and looked at the 2 men. Hello, professors. I'm Lily Miller. It's a great honor to be accepted into your school. Thank you for coming all this way to personally deliver my admission letter. The 2 men looked puzzled. Sorry, what's your name again? She hesitated slightly. Lily. Lily Miller. They looked down at the list in their hands, brows furrowing. We're here to find a student named Emma Miller, not Lily. Are we in the wrong place? As soon as those words dropped, the entire room gasped in shock, eyes wide with disbelief. Mr. and Mrs. Miller, along with Lily, froze on the spot. I stood up, walked toward the 2 men, and handed over my ID. "Hello, sir. I'm Emma Miller." The admissions officers checked the document, then looked up and smiled before handing me the envelope. "Emma Miller, it's our pleasure to officially welcome you to Stanford University." I smiled faintly and took the letter. "Thank you, sir." The two men turned to leave. But Lily suddenly ran forward and grabbed one of them. "You're fakes. You're not from Stanford Admissions, are you? Emma got 0 on her test, there's no way she got in. I'm the state valedictorian, I should be accepted, not her. This is fake, she hired actors. I'm calling the police. You'll all go to jail for fraud." The professors' faces darkened immediately. "Young lady, not only do you lack the most basic manners, but you also have the audacity to publicly accuse and insult us? Let me make it very clear, even if you are the state's top scorer, Stanford University would never accept someone like you." With that, the two turned around and walked out without looking back. Grace, the classmate from earlier, was instantly overjoyed. "I told you, didn't I?" Emma Miller was directly admitted. "You just wouldn't believe me," Grace said. As soon as he finished, other classmates began nodding in agreement. "Yeah, I clearly remember Emma winning the physics Olympiad and getting a guaranteed spot. And Lily knew that too, didn't she? Besides, she was always the one who slacked off. She'd come dead last every semester, and even begged her sister to switch test papers with her. And about those hidden test scores, who knows what that was really about?" "That's right. Emma's always been known for her outstanding grades. She's topped the class for years." Lily, hearing this, completely lost it. "You're all lying. I am the state valedictorian. I'm the one who got into Stanford. That Emma girl didn't even qualify for community college, she belongs in the trash." Her classmates now looked at her with visible contempt. "Girl, she's literally holding her official Stanford admission letter right in front of you. And you're still saying she didn't even make it into community college? You're the one whose scores were hidden. Maybe they were hidden because they were zeros." "Yeah," someone chimed in. "Maybe a 0 score was the reason they got buried in the system." "Shut up!" Lily shouted, her face flushed with rage. "No way. I'm the real valedictorian." "Really?" another classmate quipped. "Then why hasn't Stanford called you, huh?" That one line shut her up cold. Her eyes reddened with fury. I spoke calmly, "As far as I know, the hidden scores can be looked up now." Everyone lit up. "Let's check then." "Yeah, let's see who the real valedictorian is." "Go on, pull it up." "What are you afraid of?" "Fine." Lily barked, pulling out her laptop. But her hands trembled. This isn't how it was supposed to go, she thought. In my previous life, Emma refused the Stanford offer. She still sat for the exam. As long as she sat the test, the system should have swapped our scores like last time. I should still be the valedictorian. Trying to steady her breathing, Lily reassured herself. "No, I've got this. I'll be on top again." Everyone crowded closer, eyes glued to the screen, not wanting to miss the moment. 1 second later, the result appeared. A burst of laughter erupted from the front rows. "Ha ha ha ha. A 0? Lily Miller got a 0. And she had the nerve to call herself the valedictorian? What a joke. Come on, there's no way someone who barely passed anything could suddenly end up on top." Lily stared at the screen, her eyes wide in shock, unable to believe what she was seeing. How? How is this possible? It can't be. No way. Absolutely not. Even Mrs. Miller, now looking stunned, turned to her daughter. "Lily, are you sure you didn't check the wrong name?" Mrs. Miller's face turned pale, then red with fury as she shakily called the admissions office to double-check the results. When the person on the other end confirmed there was no mistake, it was as if the sky had collapsed around them. With a trembling hand, she slapped Lily hard across the face. "Lily Miller, how dare you lie to me? Lily clutched her cheek, stunned that her own mother would hit her. Tears welled up in her eyes as she turned to glare at me with hatred. It was you, wasn't it? Emma. You set this up, didn't you? You promised me you wouldn't accept the direct admission. How dare you betray me? I let out a cold laugh. Whether or not I accepted direct admission is my decision, not yours. And even if I hadn't, do you really think you could have beaten me in the exam? I leaned in slightly, whispering near her ear. Or, were you just hoping to swap our scores again and enjoy the rewards without doing the work? Lily's face went white. She stumbled back in fear. I smiled faintly and turned to leave. I hadn't even reached the exit when I heard Mr. Miller behind me. Emma, we were wrong about you. We didn't pay enough attention. We didn't realize how smart you really were. Mrs. Miller rushed over and grabbed my hand. Emma, it's our fault. We misunderstood you. From this moment on, this party is your celebration. Please, stay. I looked at them coldly and pulled my hand away. Mr. and Mrs. Miller, there's nothing left between us. We are no longer family. Mrs. Miller quickly picked up the torn dissonant papers from earlier. Emma, you'll always be our daughter. How can you say there's nothing between us? If you don't like this party, we'll throw you another one, a huge welcome celebration for your admission to Stanford. That's right, Mr. Miller chimed in, you are our real pride and joy. Watching how quickly they switched sides, I felt disgusted. All they cared about was image. Status. Vanity. Going back would only mean becoming their puppet again. Mr. Miller, that paper you just tore? I've already prepared a second copy. So tearing it up was pointless. With that, I turned and walked out. The crowd watching all this unfold couldn't hold back their outrage. And they still have the nerve to call themselves professors? They're worse than animals. They come running when they need her, and throw her away when they don't. They don't deserve to be parents. Yeah, people like that don't deserve children. Emma's the one we should feel sorry for. Lily's the real joke here. Thought she'd suddenly rise to the top, turns out she's just a snail crawling through the dirt. This whole party is the biggest joke of the year. Oh, by the way, someone added, the real state valedictorian was just announced, it's Ethan Sue, Emma's classmate. Ethan even said that if Emma hadn't declined her direct admission, he never would have had the chance to be valedictorian. Mr. and Mrs. Miller hung their heads in shame, wishing they could disappear. Lily, on the other hand, flew into a rage and began smashing everything on the table. Mrs. Miller rushed over and yanked her away. Lily, you've embarrassed us enough. You're the real disgrace. Trash among trash. Having a daughter like you is the biggest shame of our lives. Lily yanked her arm free, eyes blazing. Don't forget, I'm the only daughter you have left now. If you keep insulting me, don't expect me to even glance at your graves when you die. Mrs. Miller trembled with rage. And as for Emma, she's no longer your daughter. So any success she achieves has nothing to do with you anymore. The more she said, the more their faces crumbled in regret. Lily gritted her teeth. If you two still want to save face, then you'll do what I say. Mrs. Miller looked up in shock. What kind of stunt are you pulling now? Lily sneered. You still want to tell the world you have a daughter who got into Stanford, right? Mr. and Mrs. Miller exchanged glances, then nodded. As for me, I used the little money I had to rent a room for 2 months. I found a part-time job to cover my living expenses. All I had to do was wait for the day I would leave for New York City, for Stanford. And once I left, I would never look back. It was just days before college was about to start. I had just finished my final shift at my part-time job and was on my way home. But the moment I stepped outside, I saw all 3 members of the Miller family standing by a car, waiting. I immediately chose to ignore them and started to walk away. But Mrs. Miller rushed over and grabbed my arm. Emma, your father, your sister, and we just want to talk. I jerked my hand away. There's nothing left for us to say. Mrs. Miller looked ashamed. Emma, you're leaving for college soon. We know once you go, you'll never come back. We just want to have one last meal together. As a family. Hearing that made my heart ache a little. I knew I should have refused, but somehow, the word okay slipped from my lips. Mrs. Miller beamed. Great. Hop in, we'll take you to that roast duck place you love so much. I forced a smile and got in the car. As soon as I sat down, Lily clung to me, her face full of guilt. Emma, I'm sorry. It was all my fault. Can you forgive me? I pulled away like she was toxic. I said nothing. She tried to say more, but Mrs. Miller snapped from the front seat. Lily. Don't you know any manners? Your sister doesn't want to talk to you. Stop making noise. I froze for a second. Those words were always said to me, not her. They used to call me rude and disrespectful. And now, Lily was the one being blamed. How ironic. Lily's face twisted with frustration, but she stayed silent. At the restaurant, Mrs. Miller cheerfully handed me the menu. Emma, order whatever you want, don't be shy around your family. I casually picked a dish and was about to hand the menu to Lily. But Mrs. Miller yanked it away. Someone like Lily doesn't deserve to eat. Lily's eyes welled with tears. She almost cried, but held it in, remembering what was coming next. She just glared at me with hatred burning in her eyes. I looked Mr. Miller straight in the face. All right, what do you really want? You didn't go through all this trouble just for a farewell dinner. I don't buy it. Sure enough, it was Lily who spoke first, but it was Mrs. Miller who delivered the blow. Emma, would you be willing to give your Stanford admission letter to Lily? I blinked, stunned. I'm sorry, what did you just say? Mrs. Miller repeated calmly. Give your Stanford acceptance to Lily. Let her go in your place. You two are identical. No one will know. I had expected them to maybe ask me to come home again. But this? They wanted me to give up my future. My identity. My dream. What era did they think this was? The 1950s? I let out a bitter laugh and reached for my phone to call the police. Just as I was about to dial, Lily snatched the phone out of my hand. Don't push your luck, Emma, she hissed. There's 3 of us. You're alone. You don't stand a chance. I narrowed my eyes. You dare? This is illegal. Lily sneered. Yeah? So what? You already drank the water, didn't you? We put something in it. Best if you just behave now. I looked down at the empty glass on the table. Mr. Miller sighed. Emma, we begged you to come home. You didn't want us. So now, this is our only option. Don't worry, we're still your parents. We wouldn't hurt you. We'll let you go once Lily finishes enrollment. My eyes filled with rage. Oh, now you remember I'm your daughter? All my life, you favored Lily. I never once complained. But the moment I lost a college entrance exam, you dumped me like trash. You called me worse than an animal. And you, Lily, what did I ever do to you? I treated you well, didn't I? So why? In that moment, every last shred of hope I had for this family disappeared. Clearly, my past life hadn't been painful enough to teach me. I should have never trusted them again. Lily let out a cold laugh. You want to know why? Because you just had to shine. And the more you shined, the more I hated you. And no, I never needed your kindness. I was about to respond, but then my vision suddenly darkened. I had completely blacked out. By the time I came to, Lily had already taken my Stanford admission letter and gone off to the university, pretending to be me. But I wasn't in a rush, things aren't as easy to fake nowadays as they were in the past. Besides, there was someone I was counting on. I knew he would recognize the imposter. I knew he'd report it to the police. I knew he would come for me. That night, Mr. and Mrs. Miller entered the room. "Lily's already settled into college," Mr. Miller said calmly. "From now on, you're Lily Miller. And she is Emma." I looked up at them. "You're not afraid of being found out? Of losing your careers?" Mr. Miller chuckled. "Emma, no one's going to notice. You're twins. Swapping places is the easiest thing in the world." I gave a cold, mocking smile. "Don't be so confident. When the truth explodes in your face, you won't even have time to cry." In the days that followed, I received no news, nothing. Mr. and Mrs. Miller came in now and then, gloating about how happy Lily was at Stanford, making up stories about her perfect new college life. Their smug faces started to make my stomach turn. Could it be that no one really noticed? Even him? Just as that thought crossed my mind, a crash erupted outside the door, followed by heavy footsteps and shouting. "Officers! It's them. They kidnapped Emma Miller and sent Lily in her place to Stanford." And then I saw him, Ethan Sue. The moment I saw him, tears streamed down my face. Mr. and Mrs. Miller froze, too shocked to move. They were caught red-handed. Ethan rushed over, undid the ropes binding me, and pulled me into his arms. "Emma. I'm sorry I came so late." I held him tightly. "I thought you didn't recognize me." Ethan laughed softly. "Silly girl. How could I not recognize you? I've liked you for 2 years, spent a whole year by your side. I even know exactly how many strands of hair you have on your head." I let out a teary laugh through my exhaustion and anger. From the corner of my eye, I saw Mr. and Mrs. Miller being escorted out by the police, wailing and begging. Lily was arrested too, dragged away in cuffs. All 3 of them lost their jobs and now faced criminal charges. The Miller family would be spending many, many years behind bars. Even if they ever got out, their lives were already over. But me? In this life, I finally got to live as myself. No more being replaced. No more being thrown away. Just me, free and whole.